Friday 14th of March, we are here to do another 5k. Where is here?
York.
Yeah, York Sports Village. We're here to do the even splits 5k. We are again running 5 laps of a cycle track like we did last Saturday. We are again incredibly early, about 2 hours early, and this time we hope to make the start line for the start of the race. Is this?
That's the start. That's the start, and you're going that way.
So conditions tonight: cool,
Cold.
cool stroke cold, very slight breeze. It is an open track, but there are, I think, about 260 entrants for this race, so it should be quite sheltered from the wind unless you're out the front running 14 minutes, which neither of us are planning to do.
Trying to work out whether I should wear long sleeves or arm sleeves. Are they called arm sleeves? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or bare arms? No, I don't know. I bet you all have this dilemma as well, don't you? When it's cold, you think, what shall I wear?
So the main reason we're here is that Dawn is in pursuit of a qualifying time to run 5k for England Masters, but there is no qualifying time. It's a case of finishing in the top 4 in the age category of those who want to race.
So yes, currently I'm lying 7th on power of 10. So there are obviously 6 in front of me who would be faster if they wanted to run. So looking at their times, there are a few there I just know I can't get near. But there's 1 or 2 I think I possibly could get near. So I'm going to give it a go again to see if I can knock some of that time off what I've done this year, which I think my quickest so far is 21:46. Now I know I can go quicker than that.
Yeah, you've gone quicker than that twice at parkrun. It's just when it comes to a race.
It's just, well, as you all know, the last race didn't actually quite go to plan because we didn't get to the start on time. So I'm hoping on this occasion that we will be on the race start on time and that I will have a better performance than 21:46. Ideally, sub 21:30 would be nice tonight.
As for me, similar to last week, C goal, rack up another sub 20 minute 5k. B goal, run a season's best, which would be 19:50 or better. A goal would be get somewhere near that 19:31 or better that I ran at Battersea Park last December.
Oh.
So when it got dark, I went back to the track and were amazed at the amount of people there. Really nice vibe, really busy atmosphere just before the race. I think last time we did this, about 30 runners, weren't there?
Yeah.
Lots and lots of young runners. Now if you follow Let's Run, you'll see that we've been described this week as old bastards, and we certainly feel like it this evening. In fact, that full testimonial reads, "The 2 running brooms, game changers in the YouTuber world. Old bastards turning up at parkrun stroke random races every weekend. No sponsored shoes or agendas, just basic running, moaning, with a bit of history thrown in. And if you don't subscribe to this channel already, what better reason is there to do so, having just read that?"
I just hope you're all running when you get to be old bastards.
To meet up with our friend Keith from Barnsley AC. Last came across him at the Chesterfield No Walk in the Park. I think he's running really well and targeting low 18s. Go for the Argos 9 tonight, bit of a risk, see how they get on in a race. Definitely got to start line in time on this occasion, and nice to catch up with a few people who follow the channel. Hard to know where you place yourself here with so many people and lots of people we didn't know, but we thought in about the right position. Now for the quietest 3, 2, 1 go you'll ever hear.
So here we are off at the start of the even splits 5k. I have to say I was feeling rather nervous at the start. Not sure why, probably because I know I was out to try and beat my best for the year. But as you can see, it's rather busy. It wasn't congested because as long as you position yourself in the right place, then you didn't have any problem getting into your own stride.
Yeah, and usually you can actually see me in front of Dawn right from the start of the race. So yeah, good start for me. We'd had a good warm-up and the conditions were actually excellent for fast 5k running tonight, so lots of good times being set by those runners throughout the field.
As mentioned earlier, I wanted sub 21:30. Secretly, I wanted quicker than that, but more about that at the end. Anyhow, I set off and I realised that I was moving quite quickly. So I had a quick glance at my watch and I could see that at that time I was actually on for a sub 21. So I was a little bit nervous and decided to pull back slightly.
One of the reasons there were so many runners in the race, it was a university mob match, people from lots of different universities across the north of England. It was great to see, and the fans were cheering on the university runners, but everybody, great atmosphere on the night.
Me being me, I like to check out who's doing the race in my age group, so I had a little look at the list beforehand. In front of me here you can see a lady in a red vest with a white stripe. I think that's called Richmond and Zetland runners or something like that anyhow. She is in my age category and a very, very good runner. So I was aware that she was running. There was no other female 60s running tonight from what I could see on the list. I assumed that she was there for the same reason as me, which was to try and get a good time to qualify for England Masters 5k Championships. So she's got a good start here, and I'm aware that there is a distance between us with a few runners. So I'm just tracking at this point and wondering whether I'll be able to catch her up. I'm not sure, but obviously in my mind I'm going to give it a good go.
So as mentioned before, this is one of those cycle track races. You can see they put little cones down on the ground there to make it exactly 1 kilometre per lap. Well, this is called the even splits 5k because each lap is exactly the same, and if you look at the clock as you go through, the idea is obviously if you're racing to try and run as evenly as possible.
I'm feeling okay at this point, but I am aware that I don't run my best in the evenings, so I'm hoping that tonight will be a little bit different.
Yeah, 7:30 kick-off for this race, which as you see we actually made on time on this occasion. So it's quite difficult to get your food and hydration right to race hard at that time in the evening. Normally races we like to do take place in the mornings. Obviously during the summer there's quite a lot of evening races, but at the end of a working week, 7:30 on a Friday is possibly hard to be at your freshest and most zippy. But we are pleased as the first lap is going round that things seem alright both for Dawn and both for myself a few yards ahead. You get the crowd support twice on each lap, which is fantastic.
So you can see the clock approaching on the gantry, and I was hoping to reach there in around about 4:15 on the first kilometre, thinking that that would get me in just over 21 minutes, about 21:12, something like that. So here we are, just approaching that now, and the clock said 4:15, but I had actually taken a few seconds to cross the line. So yeah, I think I was on pace at this point.
So one great thing about this race is not only do you get your result as a chip time as well as a gun time, but because you're running over the finish mat 5 times and each time you run over it is exactly 1 kilometre, you actually get all your kilometre splits, not by your Garmin, but by the race timing mat as well, so Dawn can give you the exact times you ran for that first kilometre.
In fact, it was 4:12, which was exactly 21-minute pace. Now, this is really good for me, and I was hoping that I could keep this going. In fact, I was hoping that I could pick the pace up in the latter stages. At this point, the other female 60 was 6 seconds in front of me, so I had a little bit of clawing back to do.
Meanwhile, a few seconds ahead, I'd gone through in exactly 4 minutes. Now my legs weren't feeling great. I actually nearly dropped out at that point, thinking if it's this tough to run at 20-minute pace at the minute, it's not going to get any easier. But I thought, well, let's give another lap a go and see where we are at the end of 2k.
It was a really cold night, and I do think that this was actually affecting my breathing. I kept having to clear my throat. I do struggle a little bit with mild asthma, so I think I had a little bit of this at the start, and I was trying to get myself under control, get my breathing under control. Could feel it a bit, if I'm truthful, on this first kilometre going into the second one. So the second kilometre rolled by in a 4:19, so I had slowed down quite considerably, and I was actually quite disappointed by this, but kept myself going and kept thinking, hang on Dawn, you always have something to give at the end, I'm sure you can pull it back. So I was trying to remain positive at this point. The other lady had pulled a further 3 seconds on me, so she had 9 seconds on me now, and I was aware of this. I could see the gap growing, but I was still hanging on to the hope that I would be able to pull it back in the latter stages.
Meanwhile, further up the field, I'd gone through the second kilometre in 3:59, a whole 1 second improvement, so that gave me hope to push on for a third kilometre.
So moving towards the third lap and the third kilometre, my legs felt as if they should be moving faster, but I just couldn't get them to move. Now I do think this is because I haven't got that top end speed that you need for a 5k. We've done no 5k specific training, and I think that's what's needed to hit those top levels. There was some amazing running up the front. Here they go. Before I'd even hit 3k, I was being lapped. Those guys can move.
Yeah, the winner did 14:49, which wouldn't be out of place on one of those fast under the lights Battersea Park races you see on YouTube. And there were 28 runners who would finish under 16 minutes.
So I'm through kilometre 3 in another 4:18, so I'm holding it, but I'm aware that now we're going into that fourth kilometre, which is the hardest one normally in a 5k, that I really have to try to start to pick it up if I want to claw back any time on the lady that's in front of me, who I know is in my age group. I'm determined at some point I've got to pick it up, and I'm going to give it all I've got.
Just a word here, it was great to see all these young people out. And when we've done this race in the past, has been the full age range, but it's mainly being geared towards veteran runners. And there used to be 2 separate races here. So I said last time we did it, I think there were about 30 people on the course, so things are a bit spread out. But it's fantastic to be in the same races. You know, some of these 14-minute runners, 15-minute runners, 16-minute runners. But hats off to all these university students for getting out there, having this mob match, being so positive, and it really did create, I think, the best atmosphere we've ever had at the York Even Splits 5k. And we've done it about half a dozen times in the past.
So approaching the clock and the fourth kilometre, and it's another 4:18. I was a bit disappointed again at this point because I thought I'd actually picked it up on that lap. So now I know I've just got to go hell for leather. So let's see what I can pull in this final kilometre.
Meanwhile, further up the field, things are looking up for me. I'd gone from a 4 minutes to a 3:59 to a 3:57 to a 3:56. So outside chance of a season's best for me.
So I look back at the splits after the race, and at this point my rival was still 8 seconds in front of me. Now I know I really picked it up on this final lap and I was feeling it, but I had nothing to lose and everything to gain. You can just see the lady in red up ahead of me. There's about 400 meters to the finish, and I'm giving it everything I can, but she still has quite a lead on me. I'm not sure if I have enough time left to get back, but I think you can hear me here. I'm going at it, and I'm really trying hard to claw back that gap.
Come on.
So another application there for an appearance on Crown My Run. So I can see here how Dawn's rival's getting slightly closer. She is the next runner ahead now in the red vest, but can Dawn pull anything back here?
That gantry's getting closer, but by God, I'm going for it. I've got her. I'm just going past now, and I decided I'm going to take everybody else in the meantime because I don't want anybody coming past me. So here I am, I'm going for it. Oh gosh, I'm fine. Thankfully, I'm over that line.
And here's what that sprint finish looked from the side. Look at that stride, look at those arms swinging, look at those trainers bouncing along across that line.
So yes, wow, what a final kilometre, 4:03. I really left myself a lot to do in that final kilometre, but I'm really chuffed that I had it in me to be able to do so.
So I too have picked it up in the final kilometre with a 3:50 and managed a pleasing 19:43, an 8-second improvement on last week. But what was Dawn's final time, and more importantly, what was the final time of the rival in the race?
Well, as it turned out, we both ran 21:10 because she started 2 seconds behind me. But thank you to her. She probably wasn't even aware that I was chasing her down, but she did actually give me the incentive to push that final kilometre.
Well done, mate.
Oh, yeah,
Well done. Where did it finish?
Did you get about 21,
10, I think.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Pleased with that.
I was a bit. I gotta say, yeah, but there's always a little bit of disappointment, isn't there?
First back from Barnsley was Keith in a time of 18:30.
18:30,
Target was
18:10 sort of thing. Not to be tonight.
second back was John in about 1948, a very small season's best. The singers are going to drop out at the end of lap 1. I'll take that. And then third back.
Me? I think 21:10. I wanted sub 21:30, so I went inside that, but secretly wanted sub 21. So I got a goal was sub 21, but I'm happy with sub 21:30.
So did I get what I came for? Well, partially. That performance puts me joint 5th in the rankings with the lady who was there tonight. I've got 2 more 5Ks to go to try and get a better time. I do think there's a sub 21 in me, but let's see in the next 2 races whether I can pull that out of the bag. So I hope you've enjoyed joining us for the York Even Splits 5K. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you'd like to subscribe to see how Dawn gets on in qualifying for England Masters and the rest of our races and park runs throughout the year and beyond, then please subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. So until next time, keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on.